Thank you so much for joining me as I embark upon this new industry of hospitality. An industry now where people are more excited about sanitation than any other factor of the industry. The key is that they're looking for safe establishments, smaller number of occupants, where sanitation is made easy, where they can establish and be able to access eating as well as entertainment. My mission is to create wealth producing asset portfolio from the hospitality industry. The vision is to be a major competitor in the hospitality industry, specifically a bed and breakfast franchise comprised of various floor plans that don't exceed 1,000 square feet or preferably less. All of the establishments will need to be mobile homes or modular homes. The tools that I'll use to bridge the financing for purchasing the real estate and access inventory. The auction industry is extremely small right now, but as the moratorium on properties that are due for foreclosure opens up in January 2022, the auction industry, which I now work in, will be exceedingly flooded with REO properties, and they'll be easily accessible. I've established an account, of course, where I work, and this will be made available to everyone who becomes a part of our investment group. The resource of REO properties in the HUD foreclosure industry is huge because what happens is it goes to major auctioning companies first, and then when it's not sold, is guaranteed by HUD. They pay the guaranteed amount to the lender. They take the property and they sell it at a loss. The way that we're going to purchase the property in our organization is that we're going to establish a trust and we'll purchase the properties in a trust, which protects them from any liens or judgments that may arise. The company will initially be structured as a matrix. The organizational infrastructure will remain that way for the first 3 years because of the intricacy of how we'll have to establish having REO properties that we'll be setting up as bed and breakfast establishments all over the United States. The traditional organizational infrastructure would be inadequate. So for the first 3 years of establishment, we're going to use the infrastructure that's based on the matrix structure. And as we do a projection as the structure, it'll start out with me purchasing the first properties. And if someone wants to join me, they can. But according to this organization, we're going to purchase our properties. And then as we go, and you guys get a chance to see the model, other individuals may see properties that they want to purchase. They can purchase it in the name of the trust. And then the trust can set up a resolution so that they are the operating managers and vested parties of those properties. So they have the major ownership of those properties. They purchase them. They're going to be responsible for them. The corporation will still have an interest, and therefore the corporation will still cover a portion of the cost. But the cost will be based on a model. Everything will be based on a model so that nothing will be spent that's outside of that model. The projection is to add 10 franchise units each year for the first 3 years. It's projected that we'll sell the franchise by June 2027. The initial value of the first 3 properties that I'll purchase will not exceed $500,000 in value. But over the years, as we've established them, we should be able to deposit an annual profit of at least $100,000, which will be an additional deposits of $300,000 over those years. So the future value of that money even though the current value, the present value will start as 500,000, but over the years we'll add annual deposits of $300,000 at a rate of 8.75%. We'll have a return in 5 years of about $2.5 million. And after the first 5 years, our investment will be worth 2.5 million dollars. However, we'll be able to sell that property for at least 5 times that amount with only an initial investment of $500,000 with additional increments of $100,000 a year over the first 3 years.